So we will get started, and I'd like to welcome you to our very first new to MDQ information session. We thought we'd do this. It was designed for new members and those who were wanting a refresher. I'd just like to start too with acknowledging that it's Remembrance Day today. We're remembering those and honouring those who gave their life in service, lest we forget. So about today's session, what we'll cover, who Muscular Dystrophy Queensland, so that's MDQ, is, the services and supports we offer. You'll get to meet the key members of our team and talk about how to get involved in our community. So spread around the meeting are some different speakers from our organisation. They're only going to take a few minutes each, so we won't have you here all night boring you with lots of little details. So I'm Penelope, or Penny, and I'm the GM of the Community Services. We have another Penny, which can get confusing for everybody, and that's Penny Devan. She's our CEO. Penny, do you mind just giving us a bit of a wave?
That's me here.
Awesome.
Hi, everybody.
We've got Susie, who is our Senior Admin and Intake Officer. You may have met or talked to Susie online or over the phone before. She's usually our first point of contact. We've got Lynn, who is waving there, and she's our Allied Health Clinical Team Lead. We have Vicky, who is social worker for the organisation. Joachim representing the guys on the team tonight, who's our support coordination team lead. And we've got Vicky, who for me is on the other side of the page. I can't see her, but I imagine she's waving at everybody. She's our GM of Philanthropy and Engagement. And then we've got Sarah Shaw there, who is the chair of our community liaison group, and she is a person with a neuromuscular condition. So about today's session, just a couple of housekeeping type things. We are recording this session, and the reason that we are doing this is because there's a number of people who couldn't join us tonight, and we'd like to be able to put it onto our website and YouTube. If you feel uncomfortable with that, and you prefer not to be recorded, just please keep your camera off and your microphone off. Couple of meeting etiquette things. Please keep your microphones muted during the presentation. Feel free to turn your camera on or off. You can use the chat feature for questions or comments. However, we will have a question time at the end, or you can email at that email address, and we will get back to you over the next couple of days. So we wondered if you don't mind just saying hi, if you feel comfortable with it, maybe your name, where you're from, what brought you here tonight. If you don't want to do that, just pass it on. We just think it's quite nice to get to know you, and so that other people who are new to the community can get to know you too. So if you feel like you'd like to share, if you can take yourself off mute and just let us know just a little bit about you. Would anyone like to go first?
I will. I'm Nina, and I live in the western suburbs area of Brisbane, and I'm a full-time wheelchair user now, and they don't know what type of muscular dystrophy I have, and I have a beautiful yellow Labrador named Willow.
Thanks,
and I'm
Nina.
on the CLG, and I keep forgetting what that stands for. So if you have any ideas of things that you want to do, let me know. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, Nicholas is my name. I am dad to one Samuel Code, and we've recently discovered we've got a condition, and we're working our way through it. We live in Brisbane, and it's been good to make connection with MDQ, and we will work in more and more as time goes by. And the invitation was sent out, and I thought, yes, better put my name down and learn a little bit more about MDQ and I guess the condition.
Thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to introduce themselves? That is fine. We will move along, and I'll just say thank you for joining us. We're so glad you're here, and we hope you enjoy the session. So first I'd like to introduce Penny Devon, who is the CEO of Muscular Dystrophy Queensland, and I will hand over to Penny.
Hi everyone, and again thanks for coming along. As you can see, my photo is probably needing a little update since it was taken a few years ago now, but I have been with the organisation for quite some time and CEO for the last 3 years. So MDQ, I was just going to tell you a little bit about the history and the focus of our purpose tonight, as well as welcoming you to the group and just talking about what you can access, very quickly what you can access from MDQ, that the other presenters will share that in more detail down the track. But MDQ, it's important to talk about our history because it very much drives who we are and what we do today. So the organisation was formed in 1978 before there were funded disability support services in Queensland, when families really felt they needed to get together, support one another, help each other fill the gaps, fundraise for equipment, and fundraise to have respite holidays. And that basis of support has been our focus for the duration of the life of MDQ, on a much larger scale, but we still hold true to that mission, very focused on supporting the whole family and understanding and addressing the gaps. In more recent times, we've grown our services to be aligned with the NDIS, but we hope that we're able to meet the needs of Queenslanders, whether they have or whether they haven't got individualised funding under the NDIS. And so that leads us into accessing services with us. We offer a range of charitable services which are very much focused on filling the gap. So equipment loans, cough assist loans, our helpline, where you'd usually speak to Susie, who is excellent at understanding referral pathways and getting information to you about your particular concern. But as well as accessing services, it's really important, I think, to talk about MDQ, as someone called it once, MDQ's my club. And that's what we hope to be. We're a community-based organisation. We exist with members. Members vote in our board. Our board has a minimum representation of people with lived experience of neuromuscular conditions, so that includes people living with the condition and family members. And then there's another opportunity which we've talked about already to get involved, which is the NINA Community Liaison Group, CLG. And that's just an opportunity to help us really understand those gaps and how our services can be shaped to best meet your needs. Lastly, the driving force behind everything we do, and the one thing without red tape, is our fundraising program, which means we can address a gap as soon as we see it without needing to change the conditions or terms of a funding grant. So fundraising is really important, and we encourage you to get involved in that if you can as well. So Vicky James will be talking about that later today. But that's my quick introduction of MDQ. We're here to support you, and we very much welcome you to get involved.
Thanks, Penny. So yes, this is the other Penny. And I was just give a little bit of an overview of our community services, and others will speak in more detail. So we call ourselves, it's community services, because we like to see ourselves as a community. And under that, we have services, supports, and community events. We provide services through the NDIS. So we have physiotherapy, occupational therapy, support coordination, and plan management. As Penny mentioned already, we also provide charitable support. So at times, people will not be able to access the NDIS. It may be that they don't have citizenship. It may be that for some reason they don't meet the criteria. It may also be that their funds have run out and there's a period of time where they don't have funding in that area. We are able to assist because of the fundraising through our charitable programs. So the info line that Susie will talk about, helping people access the NDIS, equipment loans. Extended care is when somebody had a particular service under the NDIS, but the funding has run out. We're able to assist. Social work and advocacy. We provide advocacy at a personal level for a person, and also sort of organisationally wide. If there's a bigger issue, then we will address that and put forward our thinking and recommendations around that. We have a number of community events, which we're trying to do right across, well, in more places in Queensland now. So we'll often have an event or a dinner or something happening in the regional areas as well. So these include online and in-person catch-ups, connection meals. We do a medical seminar in May each year where we bring in researchers, neurologists, doctors, etc., and get them to talk about the different neuromuscular conditions, latest research, trials that people can get involved with, etc. It's always well received, that. We do information sessions. We've had one on grief and loss recently. We've got one in the next week or two on oh gosh, it's gone from my mind to the name of it. Someone help me.
Fatigue.
Yes, managing fatigue. Thank you. So we've got that coming up as well. Some good ones planned for next year. We do school holiday fun days for kids. We have a mum's retreat. Next year we are launching the Dad's Day Out. And we're also looking at a big day out for, called a big day out for people who have a neuromuscular condition, midwinter dinners, Christmas dinners, etc. We provide services, support, events for all people with a neuromuscular condition. their family members, so the parents, the siblings, the grandparents, and those who provide the care. We do an annual calendar, which is coming out in the next few weeks and will be available at our Christmas party, and then online we'll send it out, etc. And we also do a bi-monthly community update, which has on it everything that's coming up, information about what's already happened, and some, if there's latest stuff on NDIS, latest research, etc., we include that. So that's just sort of a bit of a snapshot of our community services and supports. So next up, I'm gonna hand it over to Susie, who is our first point of call, and someone that we're able to provide to assist people through our charitable programs. Thanks, Susie.
Thanks, Penny. Yeah, I'm usually the first person that you guys get put through to on the phone. I think I've spoken probably with most of you here. So it's really nice to see you online, put a face to the name. Starting off, I suppose a lot of people would call us just on our info line looking for some information about a new diagnosis that they might have, wanting to find out information about their condition or services, or where they can find a neurologist, or just random questions that they might have to do with living with a neuromuscular condition. I'll always do my best to answer your questions, and if I don't have the answers, I will do my best to find those answers for you. So if there's anything you want to know, or if you just need to reach out and talk to someone who can understand a little bit how you're feeling, then please give us a call, and yeah, I'll try to help you out any way I can. If you've got deeper issues, I can refer you on to our social worker who can provide some counselling. You'll hear from her a bit later on. If you're not already a client of muscular dystrophy or a community member, you haven't registered your details with us, I would really encourage you to do that, so that we can keep in touch with general information like our client updates, but also more targeted information about clinical trials that might be happening, or events that might be happening in your area, or services that might be available. So if you're not registered with us, I'd encourage you to get in touch, and it's just easy to send you out an online form which you can fill in and just submit online. Our NDIS access program is another reason a lot of people come to our service, people who are looking to get onto the NDIS and just need a little bit of help. I'm happy to help people with that application process, and also for people who have been previously rejected and can't understand why that their application has been rejected. I'm happy to try to work through that process with you and get an application ready to go to the NDIS. Onto the next slide, I believe we have a cough assist and equipment loan program, which I help organise as well. We have a cough assist loan program. The cough assist devices are a respiratory device that help you to produce a cough if your respiratory muscles aren't strong enough to do that. Very important for people if they're recovering from an acute respiratory illness, can help you get out of hospital and clear that kind of mucus from your lungs. We also have a small loan program of equipment that's mostly been donated to MDQ. We have some mobility equipment, including power chairs, some wheelie walkers, commode chairs, a few different items. So if you're really at a loss for something and need something, let me know, and we can see if we can find something for you. Community connections. sometimes people are just looking for someone to understand what they're going through, and I do my best to put people in touch with each other. So we have some very formal, well, not crazily formal, but we have some formal programs where, you know, we do some online chats, some virtual coffee and chats. We have some in-person coffee and chats, but there's also connecting individual community members with each other who might like to start a friendship over the phone or online. If you would like to join any of those programs, or if you would like to start your own community connection group, it's just about committing to be in a local coffee shop somewhere, and we'll invite the people in your area, and it can sort of progress from there. I'm also involved in putting together our client updates. So if you've got any news or stories that you would like to see in our client updates, send them my way and we'd be happy to share that news. And that's me.
Thanks, Susie. Now we'll move over to Lynn, who is the clinical lead, and she's going to talk about our allied health services.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a physiotherapist, and I've been with Muscular Dystrophy Queensland for 7.5 years, and I started when the NDIS rolled out in Brisbane and MDQ started their allied health service. It started with me 2 days a week, and it's grown, and we now have 3 full-time physios and 3 senior occupational therapists, plus my position. So we provide a regular physiotherapy and occupational therapy service to Greater Brisbane, Ipswich, Scenic Rim, Caboolture, and the Northern Gold Coast. All the therapists are actually based in Brisbane. So even though we provide a statewide service, the further you are from our base, the less physical presence we have in the area. But we offer consultative services across Queensland based on demand. And currently we visit Toowoomba and Cairns twice a year, ad hoc Sunshine Coast, and that service is supported by telehealth and connections with local providers. Services are provided in the client home. At our client centre in Underwood, we have a treatment room, but also at community settings such as swimming pools, equipment supply sites, and at schools. We recognise that we are just part of the team providing services to the client and the family. So we work with other service providers, with the health professionals, medical specialists, and the educational team to ensure that the care is coordinated and we're not duplicating services. So we provide physiotherapy and occupational therapy in our allied health team. So physiotherapy, the physiotherapists provide physical assessments, including gait and balance, posture, spinal alignment, range of movement, muscle strength, and respiratory function. And we give advice and treatment following that assessment on symptom management. We do equipment trials and prescription of mobility aids, including walkers, manual wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, scooters, and pressure relieving cushions. And it's the physios at MDQ that do the power wheelchair and manual wheelchairs. We do specialised seating assessments. We provide hydrotherapy programs for individuals and groups. And we train family members and support workers in stretching programs, hydrotherapy, use of specialised equipment such as the cough assist device, whatever is really needed that aligns with the physiotherapy assessment. We also have 3 senior occupational therapists. They do functional capacity assessments. They do assessments of home and work environments, trial, prescription and applications for assistive technology, most commonly hoists, commodes, high-low beds and recliner chairs, but really anything if it's related to your disability. For example, I did a modified saddle for someone who had a property in rural Queensland who rode horses a lot, and that got across the line, surprisingly. The OTs do the minor home mod applications, and minor home mods are up to the value of $10,000 in the NDIS world. They give advice on smart technology and environmental controls, strategies for community access and participation and life transitions, and also advice about fatigue management. So that's a quick summary in dot point format of what the physios and OTs do at MDQ.
Thanks, Lynn. That's great. Now we're going to move over to the support coordination, and Joachim, I'll hand to you.
Thanks, Penny. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joachim, and I'm the support coordination team lead. Yeah, just want to have a small snippet of what support coordination is. Generally, if you pass through the capable hands of Susie, you will kind of be stuck in a fork of the road, whether you have support coordination funded for you or not. You can be able to check it on your NDIS plan. If you do have support coordination, generally participants who get referred on to MDQ might do their support coordination with MDQ as well. So what is support coordination? We've had a client who very beautifully put it in the past, and he says that the support coordinators are the glue that keeps everything together. It's high praise, but it's a difficult job that we have. But essentially, support coordination can be kind of melted down to helping you understand your NDIS plan. So what is being funded and how it's funded, right? It's to operationalize the steps to attaining your plan goals by actually planning around what type of supports and how they're provided, by finding providers. So whether it's the therapy team or whether it's services with support workers, these are providers that we work very closely with. We ensure the quality of supports. If you have any incidents or have any issues with providers, we are kind of people that will speak with the providers on your behalf. We work with multiple providers. So as Lynn had mentioned, we collaborate with one another very closely with the plan managers and the allied health team to be able to provide good supports for our clients. We also report to the NDIS about the progress of coordinating your supports, right? So we have a implementation report that we have to write, and towards the end of your plan, we would have to write a report that that goes to a review. So it will be basically sort of report card on how we've done in coordinating your supports. We build capacity and confidence to navigate the NDIS system. Support coordination started off with the intent that we will be able to teach participants to be able to navigate the NDIS system. Sorry. And we've always they've always had planned for this with the idea that the participant would be able to be independent to navigate the system. However, because of the amounts of changes there is in the NDIS and the progressive nature of a lot of our participants' condition, support coordination seems to be something that will continue following them throughout the rest of the plan. Right. We do also look at crisis situations where we plan, we prevent, and we mitigate, and we act on crisis situations. Particularly, I think one of the ones that I can think of is probably COVID and the recent typhoon. We have clients who are isolated or, living in flood areas that we have to kind of, do risk assessments with them to be able to mitigate against, risk. Lastly, we do review new needs by gathering evidence and corresponding with the NDIS. So we play a role in making sure that your funds are are sufficient for your needs. And yeah, that's support coordination in a nutshell.
Thank you very much, Joachim. That's great. We're going to go back to Penny again when she's going to talk about NDIS plan management.
Yeah, so another of the NDIS intermediary supports is plan management. So very much focused on helping you be on top of your payments, working with your suppliers, and paying all your bills for you. We're very much the bookkeeper of your NDIS plan, and so we will monitor your budgets, making sure that you are spending in accordance with the intention of your plan in the right rate, so that your funding will last you for the duration of your plan. We will work with your providers to manage your claims, manage any of the payment queries that you have, and also will ensure that the supports you're claiming are supports that are called NDIS supports. And so there was a big change late last year. The NDIS clarified what it will and what it will not pay for. And so your plan managers can help you understand what should and shouldn't be funded in your plan, as well as the goals of your plan and working towards that. So there are, I should have probably begun that for those who don't have an NDIS plan yet or aren't funded that way, there are 3 ways of managing your plan. Agency managed is where the NDIS, you must work with NDIS registered providers, and you can, and those providers will claim directly from the NDIS for the supports they provide. Plan management is the middle area where you can work with any supplier as long as they have an ABN, and your plan manager will work with them to pay your supports. And the most flexible is self-management, where you are responsible for your plan and you make the claims directly and pay your suppliers directly. So plan management gives people all of that time back that they would be otherwise focused on that admin and liaising with suppliers and worrying about, is there enough money left in the plan, or which invoice do I need to process when? All of that is taken care of by the plan management team, and we really work with you to make sure you're accessing the supports correctly through that program. We often work directly with your support coordinator as well, where you provide consent to us to do that, and so all of those conversations can happen without taking up the focus of your day. And that's it for plan management, I think.
Yeah. Next, we'll get Vicky to talk about social work. This time last year, we received a grant from the NDIA to provide services for the next few years. And one of the things that we had asked for was for social work, to be able to provide emotional support or a listening ear, and we were able to employ Vicky to do that, which I think has added another very welcome dimension to what services supports we can provide. So I'll hand over to you, Vicky.
Thanks, Penny. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, so as Penny said, the social work service, this social work service started at MDQ in April. So the basic outline for the program then from the funding, from NDIS funding, was to provide some free counselling sessions for people living with neuromuscular conditions, for couples, for families, for children, for parents and caregivers. So really, it's not defined by who has the condition, but who is impacted by that condition in that family unit. And it's an opportunity for you to have a free, confidential conversation with really whatever might be impacting on your mental health and mental well-being. Primarily, the work that I've done to date has been around providing emotional support, some psychosocial supports, a little bit of referral work. It's not ongoing, as you can tell, if it's 4 sessions. So it might be coming up with a plan to get further supports in place if that's what, has been looked at during those sessions. It can be virtual, it can be on the phone, and it can be in person as much as possible. As Lynn was saying, within, Brisbane based, I do in-person work. So I will come to your home or meet you in a place that's, convenient to you as much as possible. To date, for the last 6 months, I've worked with about 45 individuals and families. And through that would be up to 4 sessions, occasionally being able to extend those sessions if there's, reasons that we're able to do that on a sort of allocation basis. And most of that, probably half of that work has been in person and the other half has been mostly phone-based work. So yeah, really flexible to try and meet families, individuals where they're at. Part of my work, which has been really lovely, is to do some day and weekend retreats. So when I first started, literally the day I started, Penny Hodges said, we've received this grant to run a mum's retreat and we'd love you to be part of that. So I got to step into that work at, being able to organise that retreat, which we held in the beginning of August for 2 days or 3 days and 2 nights down on the Gold Coast. So that's an opportunity to bring, some mums together, 12 mums together, to have a weekend of, rest and relaxation, and some sessions around looking after themselves, but really a chance for, those mums to connect, with other mums with that shared experience. And as Penny mentioned, we're looking to do more of that next year. And then I do some information provision, not what Susie does. So Susie will be the first point of call and linking people into a whole range of, information and supports. My sessions are looking at some virtual and in-person kind of mini workshops or information sessions on topics that have been identified, and offer them more broadly to, to groups of people, and looking at doing more of that next year. So certainly if there's any topics that you think would be great to hear more about, some MDQ might have, on the sort of on the radar already, but certainly other ones or any of them, to let us know. And if we can provide that to a broader range of people that we can record and put up on our website as well, then we're really keen and happy to do that. So yeah, if you're interested in social work, please, you can self-refer, you can contact Susie on the info line and request to put a referral through to me. The allied health team and support coordination team will also make referrals, so that if someone mentions or they're noticing that someone might benefit, they will ask if that person or family would like a referral, and it's consent based, obviously. So if people are saying yep, they can put a referral through. And we've also done some work over the last few months in connecting with some local hospitals, so they will put referrals through. It's another sort of pathway that people have come to access a social work service. Thanks, Penny.
Thanks, Vicky. Great. Now we're going to pivot a little bit, and we're going to go to Vicky, who is our General Manager of Philanthropy. I always have trouble saying that word, and engagement. The reason that we're able to do all of our charitable work is because of our fundraising team. I think it's something unique about our organisation. Many organisations will say, if you don't have an NDIS in your NDIS plan, we can't provide it, we can't do it. And we are fortunate to be in the position where we can have an info line, we can have equipment, we can have kids' days, and be able to provide equipment. And that is due to a team of hardworking people that are out there trying to raise funds. So, Vicky, do you mind going through what you and your team do?
Sure. Thanks, Penny. So I'm Vicky J. There is 2 Pennies, a Jenny, 3 Vickies, and a Hickey. So you can probably just say one of those names and one of us will answer. So yeah, we have very many different fundraising income streams, and these are just a few that you could maybe get involved in, or at least know that are available. And as Penny said, we raise the funds so that we can fund the charitable fund programs that the services team have been talking about. So we're a small team of 5. We run events, and our signature event is Red Bow Month, which is in March. You can purchase merchandise, which is pens, pins, bears, and socks that are pictured there. On 6th of March next year, the grade 11 students from All Hallows School will be going out into Brisbane CBD and selling these merchandise. They've been doing this for 31 years, which is just amazing. And each year they try and beat the record that they fundraised the year before. So the students actually dress up in their red bows and love this day. They really look forward to it. We hold a tea for MD, which is in March usually, but we do have some that hold them over in April, May. I think we even have one in June this year. That's just gathering friends and family, hosting a morning tea, or if you know of a corporate that might like to be involved, then you can just speak to us. We can also put a page up on our Tea for MD page website, and you can actually send that around to friends and family, and they can donate through that page. Make a Move for MD is similar, but it's any time. So it could be any fundraiser that you'd like to do. We've had one of our clients hold a lemonade stand at his school, and he raised almost $2,000 from that. There's free dress days at schools, fitness goals. We've had someone do CrossFit. The list is endless, and we will be there to guide you through anything that you would like to do. Sarah's really great at creating these pages on Make a Move, and they're similar to Tea for MD, where you can write your own blog, send it out to friends and family, and they'll donate to that page. Yep. So the next one is our community events, and we've just had Bridge to Brisbane. We were a Tier 1 charity, so we were there at the end, at the finish line. There you are, Nina. And we had participants run, walk, or roll 5Ks or the 10Ks. They also create a fundraising page and ask friends and family for support. We had over 170 people registered to fundraise for MDQ, and yeah, we had a lot of fun at the end. So if you'd like to join in or speak to people who like to run, walk, or roll, we'd be happy to speak to them and show them how they can participate in Bridge to Brisbane. We had recently had the Indooroopilly Golf Day, which Penny went along to, and they raised $44,000 at this event, which is amazing. And they had 2 charities, so we were one of those charities of choice, and we received $22,000 from that event. So if you know of any other golf days or any other events that people are holding, a third party event, that we could be the charity of choice. So just say to them, we know a charity that would love to be the charity of choice, and just let us know. And the last one that we are talking about are our appeals and a Lucky 13 lottery. So our appeals we hold quarterly, and they show the stories of our community, and we have donors who have been donating for the last 10 years. They are just the most amazing donors, and they want to be able to help us, and by helping us, they actually don't even know the people behind the stories. So that's why we share these stories, so that they can see just what we provide, but also what muscular dystrophy is about. And also, you know, most of those have had some sort of connection to muscular dystrophy or know of people who have had neuromuscular condition. The Lucky 13 lottery is only $13 a ticket. Don't know where else you can actually pay $13 a ticket and be in the opportunity to win $13,000 cash. So it runs for about 3 months each time. There's a second and third prize of $500. If you purchase 3 tickets at $39, you get a free ticket. And our next lottery it finishes up on December 12 and will be drawn the next week. So let people know that we have that lucky lottery, and that we have our appeals, and you can help us fundraise through those. The last slide just shows our MDQ social handles, and that's Sarah's fantastic way of showing you our Instagram, LinkedIn and Facebook pages. So regardless of any support through fundraising, please join all of these pages and share away, so that people know what we do and how we can help. And your voice has the power when you share, and you can help others understand what MDQ does and what neuromuscular conditions are about. Thank you.
Thanks, Vicky. We've got a question that's come through from Belinda. Do you have any events North Brisbane, Moreton Bay area?
Yeah. So Tara, who is one of our mums who has a little girl with a neuromuscular condition, she held a fitness CrossFit event at Redcliffe over that way. So yeah, we definitely have events that way. We also had quite a few people from Bridge to Brisbane over there, but we would also welcome anyone from that area to do a T for MD, and we will come along and help you run that event. So we have friends and work colleagues that live over that way. So yeah, we'd be happy to help out. Thanks, Belinda.
Thanks, Vicky. It's great. Now I'd like to introduce you to Sarah Shaw, who is a person living with a neuromuscular condition. She is a volunteer for the organisation, and she's chair of our community liaison group. Sarah, I'll hand over to you.
Okay, so just talking about the community liaison group, it's been in operation for just over 3 years. Anybody who's involved in disability organisations knows that there is actually a requirement for NDIA registered organisations to have a client liaison group, which I think it was the motivation for starting it, but is not the reason why you should be interested in it. You should be interested in it because MDQ takes it very seriously. So for 3 years, they've put an enormous amount of resources into hearing what the actual lived experience in this community wants, needs, and thinks about the organisation and where they can improve. As the chair, we meet quarterly to give feedback on anything from how's the newsletter reading, is the message getting across, is there anything that they can do better with their communications, is the community events that they're putting on working for people, is there enough of them, are they in the right places, the advocacy work, are they advocating on the things that the community think are the priorities, etc. And how are the policies and procedures impacting the clients. So as a client myself, I'm a plan management client, I'm a physio client, and I'm an occupational therapy client. I have lived experience of, what the organisation's actually doing, and so do the rest of the members of the committee. And we work together to make sure that the organisation, what they're doing is actually working for us, which is a big ask because MDQ have such a variety of clients, geographically, age, conditions, you name it, they have the diversity that they need to address. And so a lot of the time it's about creating as many voices as we can to feed back to them so that we can get something going that as many people as possible can access, understand, benefit from. Okay. Next slide, please. So some of the things that we've put together is we know that peer support is incredibly important. Getting a diagnosis with one of these conditions is like being told you're about to have to go and live in a foreign country and you have no idea about anything. You don't know the language. You've got no idea where to find out information. It's all a morass and a maze. Peer networking is a way to actually, find other people who are going through the same thing and ask them questions, etc. So we have the MDQ peer support group page on Facebook. I don't like Facebook, but it's a easy, free way that we can have a closed group. Some of the things that we try to do in there is make sure that people have up-to-date information on what's actually going on in the disability community. So even if all you want to do is know what's in the news around disability, that's a good place to head. But it's also a good place to head if you just need to know which hairdresser on the north side has a wash basin stand that power wheelchair users can actually use to get their hair dyed and their hair washed at a salon. That sort of stuff. Which dentist actually lets you stay in your chair and can cope with someone on a vet. All that practical little stuff that you don't know where to ask, that's a good place to go. Next slide, please. We also have monthly meetings virtually for people living with a neuromuscular condition. So we know that living with a neuromuscular condition, it's incredibly important that you have people to talk to who understand what you're going through and can actually get it. So this is our way of trying to connect as many people as possible. You don't have to get out of bed even to come. You just have to have a laptop or a phone, log on with us once a month, have a chat, tell us how you're going, and let us, connect with you and get to know you. Next one. We also have one for families and carers. So families and carers need a lot of support. It's just as important for them to be talking to people who are experiencing the same experiences they're going through. So we hold that, I think it's 6 times a year, Penny. Am I right?
Yes. Yep.
So 6 times a year you can jump online and have an added to other people who get it and what you're going through. Next one. Currently we have bi-monthly a group of people who meet at Capella Bar at a cafe. It's run by one of our CLG members who loves people and loves to talk. And it has anywhere between 5 and 15 people who turn up on a regular basis. just for a bit of coffee and cake and a bit of peer connection. We're also starting the same thing in Townsville and Sunshine Coast, and perhaps Toowoomba. I didn't even know Toowoomba was on the cards. Excellent. So if anyone thinks, well, why aren't they doing one in my area? Let us know. We're very happy for you to start one up in your area. We'll even come along for the first few times till you build up a local group of people. But people tell us that's something that they're really appreciating, is having people that they can meet up with in person. I'm at the art, okay. All right, so the other thing that's really important to the community is the advocacy work of muscular dystrophy. And so the client liaison group do a bit of work there, just making sure that we understand what are the key issues going on in the disability space around legislative changes, policies, procedures, and having our say about that. Obviously, the point of that is because we have an incredibly huge community of incredibly diverse people, we need as much representation to make that as effective as possible. So again, we strive to make sure that we recruit for the CLG continuously so that we have as many voices as possible across the spectrum of groups that we need, to make sure that the advice that we're giving is relevant and meets the needs of the community. So some of the groups that we're missing at the moment, we've got regional members, but they're not coast-based, and we know that the regional members in Western and Northern Queensland really want a voice, but we don't have any that have volunteered for the CLG, so we'd love to see that. First Nations and people of colour, young adults aged 18 to 25, which is a really critical age group in our community because it's such a time of transition for them as they leave school, etc. We'd love to see some people volunteer from that age cohort, and members from non-English speaking backgrounds. So if you're listening to me and going, oh, well, I'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to have you. Even if you're not any of those groups that I've just said we're missing, please think about coming along and having your say. How can you get in touch? You can go to the MDQ website and complete an expression of interest form. You can just send me an email to that email box and tell me a bit about yourself, etc. Or you can message me via the MDQ Peer Support Facebook page after you've joined.
Thank you, Sarah. I'd just like to add to that too. We have a member on the committee who's a parent, so parents are welcome as well, and also Miriam, who has joined us this evening. You don't have to been a member for a long time. Miriam recently joined us, and she joined our CLG meeting last night, so quite quickly, which is fantastic, and we're really pleased to have her as part of the committee. So that comes to the end of our presentations. Has anybody got any questions? We're happy for you to put them in the chat. We're happy for you to ask them now, or we're happy for you to email them to us afterwards, or if anything comes up over the next few days. Leona has come here. I think she's responded to a question. I'll just have a look at that. Won't be a moment. It's just taking a little while to show for me. Penny Demon, I'm having a few difficulties here bringing up
that's
the
no
questions.
problem.
Can I hand over to you on that one?
Yeah, Belinda just asked, said that she is in the midst of an ART review, and that it'd be great to see how others went with it. Plus, she'd like to have some more support and see how others are going with the NDIS. And that was in response. Belinda's been very active in the chat and keen to be a CLG member. So, Sarah, perhaps we can put you in contact. And then, yes, Leona was responding to Belinda, talking about her experience with MDQ, supporting Leona through the ART, and just thanking us for the session tonight.
Awesome.
Thanks, Leona.
Thank you.
Perhaps if anybody else would like to raise their hand, there's a little raise your hand at the top of the screen, and that way we'll be able to see whether you're keen to ask a question. Don't want to miss you.
No.
Belinda's just typing again. No pressure, Belinda.
While we're just waiting for that to come through, there's been a lot of information here tonight. Please, we will put it up on the website, on our website. Email us if there's anything you wanted to clarify, any other questions, and we are only too happy to provide information and to support you. If you've got ideas, we'd love to hear those as well. Just that comment from Belinda, excellent, everyone looking to be part of MDQ. Great. Yes, that's right. You used to be on MDAA and MDA Tassie. Thanks, Belinda. That's awesome. I don't think, Penny, anyone else has put their hand up.
No hands up.
So I'd just like to say thank you for joining us. Recording and follow-up information will be shared via email, so we will actually send it through to you as well. We are looking at doing another session early to mid 2026. You'd be welcome to join us if you felt like it would be helpful for you to hear it again, or other members of your family might like to join in. But you'll be most welcome. Remember to follow our Facebook and our Instagram for client updates and event announcements. Just to let you know, quite often what we send through email, because we are a charity, gets put into your spam. So do please check your spam. If you don't get something, let us know as well. It could just be sitting in there, or for some reason you haven't received it. Our next sort of big event is our Christmas party on the 4th of December, which we get a good number of people coming, maybe 80 to 100 people coming, and our team are all there. So we'd love to see you in person there. Thank you very much, and hope you have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later.